Today is the 12th day of April, 12th day in April 2023. Welcome to my podcast. My name is Vasu Obasaki, and as always, it's my pleasure to bring you, juicy stuff every day. Now, the fact that it's juicy does not mean if it is sweet. Sometimes juice might not be really sweet. You have smoothies that whatever, not really tasty though. Anyways, I'm sure my gist is usually sweet. Come on now, you know it's sweet. Don't be deceiving me. Okay, so I hope your week has been good. This is the third day, and for my brothers and sisters who are Christians, this is the second day after the resurrection of Christ. Anyways, I had wanted to talk about forgetting and forgiving, but I have tried to want to make sure that whatever I say accurately passes the message. So I've taken my time to think through properly. And for some of you who are very good in theology, gaslightology, and whatever it is, please be patient with me and understand what I'm trying to say today. Forgiveness and forgetting, or forgive and forget, however it is. Do you know it's easy to forget than to forgive? I know a lot of us grew up knowing that it's easier to forgive than to forget. Actually not. It's actually easier to forget than to forgive. Because whether you like it or not, whatever has been done to you would always leave a scar in your heart, no matter who did it. Your loved ones, your enemies, especially the ones your loved ones did to you, especially the one that person that you really care about did to you. It's usually easy to forget them. And like a friend of mine would tell me, I'm being technical about it, but it's the truth. You don't go all around about your day carrying unforgiveness or remembering what every single person had done. That's why the brain is there to suppress certain emotions and suppress certain events. So as much as it's easier to think that it's easy to forget, it's actually more difficult to forgive. And I'll tell you why. Somebody hurts your feelings, somebody hurts you, somebody makes you feel a certain way. Now, we don't always remember what people said to us, but we'll never forget how they made us feel. Would never forget how they made us feel. And I'm saying this emphatically because you know that you had a confrontation with someone or somebody did you something really crazy. The truth is, till that event plays itself again, there are sometimes and this is why I don't like to judge matter. I don't like to judge issues, because I know I'll always be at fault. So I'll just walk away instead. You and I could have a confrontation now in 5 minutes. I would most possibly forget everything that occurred in that event. But would I remember how you made me feel? Yes, I will. And this is not me talking about myself. This is not me saying that it's easier for me to forget than to forgive. Because even in 10 years' time, if that issue is brought up again, it becomes a fresh scenario of hurt, a surge of discomfort, anxiety, and even if you've told yourself that you've forgotten about the matter, if you haven't forgiven that person, there is no how you won't feel uncomfortable around that person, resentful. The feeling of anger will suddenly surge. And you see, when it comes to forgiveness does not necessarily take away the event. What forgiveness does is it cushions the effect of what the person does. Forgiveness reduces the efficacy of what that person did to you. It tones it down to the bare minimum. So when you look at that person, you remind yourself, your subconscious reminds itself that, oh, this person has been cleared of this matter. Does that mean you forgot the matter? Yes, you probably have. Till you saw that person again. Yes. In 5 days, you wouldn't think about the person the bus conductor that offended you on your way to work. But over the span of 6 months, that resentment for all bus conductors will increase. It will surge. They do it for you the first time, second time, third time. You have forgotten where this thing came from. You have actually. You've forgotten where it started from. But do you forget how it made you feel? Forgiveness comes at a very high cost. And that's why a lot of people do not understand that. I would rather prevent an event from happening such that I don't have to be on record as an offender than actually ask for forgiveness. I'd rather prevent an event from happening, because I know that whatever I do, however the forgiveness I request for, it has already left a dent in that person's life. Towards me, at least. I was speaking to an elderly person a few weeks back, I think like 2 Sundays ago, and as much as we were very playful in the first instance, when we sat to talk, I could see the person's facial expression towards me, and this facial expression only came from the past. It came from all the things that we had been through, because your emotions will still hold on to that thing. Your mind will subconsciously hold on to it. Have you forgotten? Yes, you have. I have forgotten where this person even came from, what even happened at this point in time with this person. But especially when there is a repeated sceneries, or this thing happened over a period of time, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. But the fact that you still see the person and you resent the person, even if it is a little, only shows that forgiveness has probably not completed, or has not completely taken place in between the both of you. So, how do you forgive people? I know it's easy to have different views about forgiveness. Now, the first step and the most likely only step to take is forgiving yourself. Yeah, forgiving yourself. Because when you're hurting, you're not hurting really because of somebody else. You're hurting inside because you feel a sense of guilt. You feel a sense of damage. You feel a sense of uselessness. In the sense that if you were not in that place in the first place, that event wouldn't have taken place. If you were not this person's friend, you wouldn't have. How could this person do this to you? Meaning that as much as I have given to you, I do not expect you to do back at me. At this point in time, how do you see yourself? Or how you see yourself matters a lot, because if you can't forgive yourself for putting yourself in that situation, it will be difficult to forgive the other person. Some people will say make excuses for not necessarily make excuses. Sometimes just acknowledge that it was your mistake, and then you move on. Sometimes just acknowledge that I'm guilty. Do not avoid the guilt, basically. Sometimes we think that it's easy to forgive ourselves, but the persons we hurt the most is ourselves, basically, because when external factors make us feel bad about ourselves, we hurt. We burn up inside. It eats us inside. Not the person. It eats us inside. There's a saying that unforgiveness is drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. You are consuming whatever it is that hurts you. You are consuming it in real time. And the person that hurts you probably is not even feeling guilty about the thing. But you are feeling hurt and guilt and everything about it. So forgiving yourself, learning to forgive yourself, is the number one key. Now, forgiveness does not guarantee friendship. This is standard. So you have forgiven yourself and you're forgiving that person. Does not mean the person has to be your friend. It doesn't. It doesn't. So just remember that it's easy to let go of an event. It's easy to forget it. And then it's easy to actually forgive. Because forgiveness comes at a high cost. Forgetting is just one of those things that makes us human. And I hope that after this podcast, you learn to look inwards at every hurt that you get. Look inwards and forgive yourself, so that you don't keep drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Because if you do not learn to disconnect the fact that that mistake was not as a part of your identity, because definitely it will be tied to your identity once you remember that you need to disconnect yourself from that mistake, you begin to grow. You begin to grow, basically. Ask yourself, myself, do you forgive me? Please forgive myself. I forgive you myself. We need to learn to have these conversations, no matter how trivial the hurt is, because if these hurts build over time, that's where the problem becomes a problem. Have a wonderful day. I love you.